Join us for a review of the new updated Mercedes E63 AMG. Let's go!
Hell, look at that. It's like, what is this? That's 250 kilometers an hour now, and I feel like I'm still standing still almost.
In the front, the Mercedes E-Class received different new front grills, and the same also counts here for the AMG models. This Panamericana grille, they call it at Mercedes, has the wider part in the lower area and is smaller in the top area here than with the vertical fins, and it's bigger than before. And also here this Mercedes star is bigger than before, and the air intakes here also bigger. So overall a very, very strong look, even stronger than before. Here with an additional carbon fiber lip, you can get different stylings for that too. The length remains at 4.92 meters, 16'1" or 194 inches. Side profile hasn't been touched that much. Interesting that we have the design dropping line at the height of the door handles. To me, that's always the nice integration here when it just forms one line. Then you see how light and shadow is being played with. Here there's also this carbon fiber package. That means we have the carbon fiber spoiler in the lower area and also carbon fiber covers right here for the mirrors, side mirrors. But you can also, for example, get it in all black or so, depending on what you like. For the AMG model here, either 19 or 20 inch. The 63S automatically comes with these 20-inch wheels. Different stylings are available. Here I also knew that there are aerodynamic designs. You can see here this aerodynamic design. And indeed, it's a little bit more efficient. But yeah, if that really makes a massive difference, I don't know. In the rear, the E-Class facelift has indeed changed a lot. There's a new boot lip right here because the headlamps have been reorganized. They're now horizontally drawn. Before that was only for the coupe and the convertible, and so it looks sleeker than before. Critics also say it looks more like a blown or bigger A-Class sedan now. You can argue like that, yes, but definitely looks sportier and sleeker than before with these new lamps here, and they're also more modern as for the interior design right there. Under the hood, we have a 4-liter V8 bi-turbo for the 63 AMG models, either 571 horsepower for the 63 or 612 horsepower for the 63S, and then also 850 Newton meters of torque. 3.5 or 3.4 seconds is the acceleration figure then, depending on the model you have, to 100 kilometers or 62 miles an hour. Rear-wheel biased all-wheel drive, but again with 4MATIC Plus with more variable distribution. And this one, no mild hybrid technology. And here also with a separate badge, one guy. This one, Dominic, built this engine. So this is one man, one engine concept at the 63 AMG models. And the 53 AMG model would come basically a stock engine, then modified, and is an inline 6-cylinder. So these 2 cylinders, that's the difference then 53 and the 63 model here with the E-Class. Acceleration difference is actually just 1 second. Khaki here with the AMG badge, also at the rear part, and slim, light, feels premium, like it. Closing or opening with keyless entry and the door closing sound. Yeah, that's solid. Autogefühl proof. Inside of the doors we have here carbon fiber decor elements. In general for the E-Class you can pick different ones. Burmester sound system here in the E-Class, really sophisticated, and different trims available for that. Then reasonable door pockets also for bigger things, AMG entry badge and also AMG floor mats. And biggest news is new steering wheel. So the new E-Class either in the base version gets like a different styling here where are these new buttons, and the AMG steering wheel, as we see here for the AMG models, of course also for the AMG line, has this split here, like the elements are like 1 2 1 2 like there, so sportier design. But these are now all capacitive buttons and they are less friendly to use than before. It looks cool, it looks clean, but the real buttons before were easier to use. And soon we'll also show you that here we have new dials as well for driving modes and so on. And the whole steering wheel form is also different, but the form itself is actually quite cool, a good size, round, and here also with the microfiber touches. That's really cool, better grip, not only while racing, but also in everyday driving life. Then the seats, usually both for E53 and E63 AMG, you would start with normal sport seats. And these here are these super sport seats. You see they are even more, formed here at the shoulder part, and they are way slimmer and stiffer. And I can really tell you, do not pick these. There might be rare exceptions where they are more comfortable, but for 90% of all people, these will be less comfortable. So they are stiffer, they are slimmer. The normal sport seats, just stick with the normal sport seat, they will be more comfortable than these. Of course, seat control is always at the inside part there, like this. And well, as for headroom, there can be a panoramic roof in here. If you don't have one, with the 1.86 or 6.1, leaves you enough headroom. But even with the panoramic roof, it would not be no problem for tall people to sit here. Interior overview. Classic E-Class styling is that we have this overlapping dash in the top part here and everything wrapped tightly. Then the carbon fiber decor element in this case, and also here for the AMG models you get the middle console here in carbon fiber that looks pretty fancy with an AMG badge. Here once again with the design here with these round air vents right there. In the lower part we still have a manual climate unit, so it's also easy to control it while driving, like that. And also a hotkey, for example, to access the GPS. That's always very important to me, in the reach of the driver part. Then open it here and you have the USB-C connection now for your smartphone. It's also an inductive charging pad, adaptive cup holders. Then there's this touchpad where you can also control the infotainment screen, for example, also while driving. This is the evil exhaust button. Brum, brum, brum. Yeah. Now, look at this new steering wheel. Once again, it has a very good handle and grip, and it's really thick here. So, I really love handling that. Really cool. And also the visual part is just amazing, definitely. But then here, the capacitive buttons. Here you have these touchpads. Okay, there were before. Here, right thumb to control the right infotainment screen. Go back or to the home menu. And, it does give you some kind of feedback. So there's this one area that can be touched and also pressed in. So if you compare to the Volkswagen AG solution, this one here is the better one, gives you a better haptical feedback. And then here for louder and less volume and so on. Now the infotainment system, you can control with the lower touchpad, you can control the steering wheel, or you control it with touch right here now with the MBUX. And there are special AMG performance gauges for the 63 models. For example, you can see the all-wheel drive distribution then, for example, or the G-forces and so on. So everything of that is possible. Just playing around here, the G-force meter. Engine also, brum brum. Yeah. And consumption, this, really? So, okay, these about the special gauges, also track pace app available. GPS looks like this, and this is actually a good visualization. Still not the newest one, but still does a good job. Now to the rear compartment, guys. We always enjoy our shootings as well. I hope you do so too. Then also the same styling for the rear. In this case, yellow console scissors, but you can also get different, stylings and colors, of course. Question is, how much space do we still have? Because even if it's a sporty vehicle, we still want to have some legroom, and that might be the only advantage of these super sport seats, that they have even a little bit more legroom because they are so slim. But to put your feet underneath, you need to put them a little bit higher. This comes very close, but definitely enough legroom. And even if you have the sedan only, with my height, it's no problem also for the headroom. That works very well. Now let's open this new boot lip. Yeah, that works quite well. Also easy access here for a sedan, of course more flexible than with the T model, the Estate. Underneath you have, for example, another foldable shopping basket. Yeah, sometimes you forget it and then maybe you have one.
That was already almost 90, so I have to reduce the speed immediately now. And that was the race start in the Sports Plus mode. Hit the brakes, hit the throttle, and here we go. Wow, awesome performance, really good distribution also from the all-wheel drive, so we don't leave any rubber on the ground. And once again, when you're driving this car at 70 kilometers an hour, it feels like nothing. It almost feels like standing still, you know. When you reach higher speeds, then you would feel that this car is actually driving. And so, yeah, speed is really underwhelming then at any time. Good control. The air suspension still gives you some comfort, so we also can go to the comfort mode. Then the adaptive air suspension also switches to the comfortable mode. It still feels sporty. They have adapted the air suspension in this facelift, even changed some hardware parts, even for the normal air suspension for the E-Class. However, the span here also has become wider between comfort and sportiness. And also with AMG models and with Mercedes in general, a based E-Class has a very, very soft air suspension. The air suspension here for the AMG model is tuned on a stiff trim, so you hardly feel anymore that it's air suspension. But still, it gives you a decent comfort, but already in the comfort mode, it's quite stiff. But I think still a good compromise. And here again, the steering feels very good. It's not the most progressive steering, but that's also like, you know, easier going straight. And for example, Sport or Sport Plus mode, then suspension is stiffer, and then you really lose comfort when there's some bumps on the road and so on. But I think it's still a compromise where you can, where you can live with, especially in the comfort mode. And as I said, this variety, this comfort span has become larger, so you can also adjust it then to your needs. Noise insulation also once again very good with the E-Class. 1 kilometers or 60 miles an hour, and hardly have to raise my voice, hardly hear any wind noise and so on. Here in the 63 model you still feel more connected to the road and so on, tire-wise, wheel-wise with the big wheels, and of course and also with the stiffer suspension setup, but you can still live with that, definitely. The thing I told you that in the interior part that reduces the comfort most are these bucket seats or half bucket seats. The normal sport seats indeed will do much better, and especially when you also have the dynamic car service, which you can get in the 53 model, then that gives you even more softer seating comfort. The 63 model, of course, is all about the performance. The 63 S model, honestly, it's more about spending even more money, because the acceleration difference is not that huge then between 63 and 63S. It's more about like saying, I have the top model, that's more about it, and just a little bit more money. Here, when you're already at speed, like 60 kilometers to 100, and that's it. And wow, there's so much pressure going on there, and you're just gone. And also again, a nice V8 sound. Due to recent particle filter updates, especially for the European vehicles, of course the sound is somewhat reduced, but I think you still have this sporty punch you want to feel when driving this vehicle. So to me, with the facelift here, I think we gained some comfort suspension wise, and again this from comfort to sporty, this difference, this is what they have worked on. And of course the different steering feeling, and again the user interface is worse than before. The steering feeling here from the form is better than before. So always comes at the catch. Interesting also when we accelerate out the corner here. Really stable, so even in Sports Plus mode, of course, when it's dry road. When it's wet, you should not use the Sport Plus mode in public road. Maximum the Sport mode. Yeah, I mean, after all, it's all-wheel drive. Definitely, you can also put this car to a rear-wheel drive only mode. This is also possible. That would be rather than for the track use, for example. So, yeah. But yeah, this is, for example, also a race mode we will not use on public roads. This would be, even more enhancing everything and the stability systems and so on. So, there we go. And the next motorway part. Yeah, so if you miss an intersection, just accelerate it out and you're on the way once again. So, we're going on the motorway right here then now. Once again, nice corner. Yeah, and I mean, you just have some of these corners and you already feel like driving this car on the racetrack. What a good handling. And you see, when a normal vehicle like a taxi or so is driving at normal speed, you feel like, are they standing still or what am I doing here, And I wasn't even going that fast. So, now to the motorway. German Autobahn, welcome. And let's go. That was already 170 kilometers an hour. So easily reached, so it's like nothing really. Just goes on and on and on. Yeah, this is definitely a great performance from this 4-liter V8. And here also on the motorway, even at this speed here, 140 kilometers an hour, once again, you hardly feel anything. Noise insulation wise, stability wise, all good. I mean, what's hell? Look at that. It's like, what is this? That's 250 kilometers an hour now, and I feel like I'm still standing still almost. It's like really, again, like nothing. Wow. Look at that stability this car has. It's incredible. And I usually never go these speeds because at some point, when with most cars, even sporty vehicles, you reach 200 kilometers an hour, you say like, yeah, that's really fast now, and that's enough, That's enough for now. But here, like, it just goes and goes and goes. And here at 200 kilometers an hour or 125 miles an hour, it feels like, okay, now we're relaxing and just cruising. I mean, there's hardly any other vehicle that conveys you the feeling of you're cruising with 200 kilometers or 125. I'm really wondering, like, is this tachometer bogus? That's what you wonder, and it's not. It's really not. We're going that fast. Yeah, it's really incredible. There's hardly any other vehicle that changes your conception of speed in this way, and this, of course, because it gives you such a stability, such confidence while driving, then the great noise insulation, which is one of the best in the industry overall. So once again, super impressive what this car is able to do.
And now to our conclusion for today with the Mercedes-AMG E63 S here in this facelifted version. In general, the E-Class facelift introduced new fronts and also for the sporty models, even stronger, even sportier appearance. So especially the sedan with this new front and the new rear really rather looks like an all-new vehicle. Also the rear way sleeker than before. So indeed, definitely a sportier look, especially for the 63 model. And also the same counts for the 53 model. Interior changes, more about the infotainment, then everything digitalized now, even if you start with a smaller screen, and the MBUX with touchscreen and also with the natural voice input. That's definitely a big step forward. Really good to use it. Also decent space you have in the interior, of course, as for this segment, and a good build quality as well. Only thing missing in the 63 models are animal skin alternatives. That's where the 53 is better with the Dynamica Artico Mix as a standard seat. That would also be one reason to go for the 53, then of course to save some money. The performance is also there with the 53, so the 53 is definitely the best, better price performance as for the AMG models here. It's just that you get 2 cylinders less. And here the V8, of course, is a master on the road. In driving experience, here with the upgrades, it's, you know, becoming quite obvious that the span between comfort and sportiness is even wider than before. And so far, even in the comfort mode, a 63 model was really, you know, you had no compromise. You went all the way on the sporty side, and it was not that comfortable suspension-wise, even though, you know, have an air suspension. But here now with the facelifted model, definitely more comfort, especially in the comfort mode, without losing sportiness at the other side of the sporty end. So that's, I think, a very important upgrade here, because they also worked, you know, even changed hardware parts with this adaptive air suspension. Definitely not an air suspension carpet ride as you have with the normal E-Class, but that's also why you get an AMG. And, well, I mean, especially the Autobahn experience here, it's so incredible. You're driving 200 kilometers an hour or 125 miles an hour. I think, like, that's a relaxing speed. So, you know, should I make some coffee or something while doing that? That's, you know, probably with no other car that is so relaxed to drive at a high speed and you hardly feel the speed. So you really have to check it that you don't exceed the speed limits. Really dangerous with this vehicle. So a very impressive, impressive experience, especially when you're going that fast. So thank you so much for tuning in today. Also tune into other E-Class episodes we have for you. We also have the more normal ones if you maybe, you know, fancy watching this but end up buying a more normal E-Class. So see you there, or maybe also at some competitor models. Thank you so much for tuning in today. See you next time.